What are some ways that you can prepare for the next season or level of your life? How can you let go of your emotions and have a mindset of determination? What are some of the ways that you can isolate yourself and get away from such a cruel world? Now, before we get into this video, make sure that you do turn on your post notifications, you like, share, and subscribe to my channel. We are finally over 100 subscribers. Now it's time to get to 150 and then 200. So, may I say any more? So, plot twists are challenging, but they can also be opportunities for growth and transformation. When we go through transitions in life, it's important to accept them. We should always use this time to prepare for the next season or level of our lives. Though plot twists can be challenging and though they can throw serious curveballs at us, as I've said before in a previous video that I did, which was a journal entry, I did say that I personally am not a fan of curveballs. I'm not a fan of plot twists. But sometimes that's the opportunity we need to use to grow and develop. Grow and develop in those areas that we need to focus on. You know your weaker points. Even if you don't know your weaknesses, you have an idea of things that may trigger you. That will require some self-evaluation and seeing those things that would help you along on the journey. Use the time, like I said, to prepare, because you don't know what the next season is going to be of your life. You don't know if it's going to be a season where you have to go into survival mood. You don't know if it's going to be a season where all kind of, I don't want to say negative things, but positive things are coming out of the new season. But if you're comfortable in the season you're in, how are you going to grow? How are you going to develop? How are you going to be able to handle this new season? Because with each season there's always going to be good or bad, but it's a matter of how you're going to handle them. How are you going to manage it? So in order to prepare for that, what do you have to do? You have to go through some trials, you have to go through some tribulations, you have to go through looking at what are some ways in life I need to improve on. Acknowledging, accepting, and preparing for life transitions. Like I've said, it's essential to recognize and come to the realization. And please, before I finish, I am getting bite and attacked by mosquitoes, and it seems like repellent is not working, and they just out here today. I don't know what's going on, but anyway, it's essential to acknowledge that you're going through a life transition, and to accept that it's time to go through a new phase or level. This preparation is called pre-gaming, when you have to develop yourself, learn more about yourself, nurturing aspects of your life that need attention. Attention, like you may realize that you're now going through a season where you didn't involve God a lot, you didn't seek Him a lot, and now you're in a season where, or you're coming up on a new season where you're gonna have to seek Him first. You're gonna have to sit down with Him, you're gonna have to talk to Him, you're gonna have to consult with Him. Sometimes you're gonna go in a season where you have to be by yourself, you have to be alone, because your friends are going to be there. Sometimes you find out that it's really your friends who aren't wishing the best for you, like they pretend that they want to support you, but they really aren't. You may go through a season where even your family may not be able to be there for you, because let's be real, everybody is going through something right now. And sometimes the people who you need to call on 911 and say, hey, I need you, I need your help, I need advice. Sometimes they're not going to be there. Sometimes they're not going to be able to pick up the phone. So sometimes you have to learn to build that strength in yourself and sit down and know what it is to be by yourself and seek God. It's also about stepping away from distractions, like I said, and focusing on God. Like I literally just said that. Stepping away from the things of the world. Don't be distracted about what you see on social media. Don't get distracted about what you think may be best. Don't get distracted of like the gossip and sipping of the tea, because right now it's all about focusing on you. What do you need to do? What can I do for myself to make me better? What can I do to promote myself? Do I need to change my attitude? Do I need to change the way I talk to people? Do I need to change the way my outlook on life? And I know it's very hard for us sometimes to change our outlook on life when we're so used to, I don't want to say we're used to bad things happening, but we're just used to things not going the way we want them to. And sometimes it's not because it's not going the way we want them to. Sometimes that's literally just God redirecting us and saying, hey, I know you want to go this way, but I actually want you to go this way. But since you want to be stubborn, I'm going to let you go that way. I'm going to let things happen. And when you're ready, I'm going to redirect you my way. And another thing that is very human of us to do is we allow our emotions to get the best of us. Every time something isn't going the way we want, first thing we want to do is curse, freak out, carry on, throw a tantrum. We want to have a self-pity party, or we just want to throw a pity party. And do not get me wrong. There are some situations where I want to say you're allowed to raise hell and you're allowed to kind of like freak out a little bit, but don't let your emotions get the best of you, because at that point, that's when we start to question, what am I going to do? How am I going to handle this? We almost go like into a panic mode. And I could speak for myself. Sometimes like something very trivial can happen and I automatically go into panic mode, and I'm just like, oh my God, how is this going to happen? How is that going to happen? But I have kind of learned to, I've kind of trained myself to not get my emotions so much. I've actually kind of learned not to go instantly into panic mode. I've kind of learned to try to remain calm. I may have one or two moments, but for the most part, I learned to try to remain calm and be like, okay, survival mode. What is plan B? What do I need to do? Who is someone that I may be able to call who can help me during the situation? And if I'm not able to call someone, sometimes I need to sit down and think about it. I just thought of something. But anyway, know that you'll get through it, whatever the circumstances, whatever the transformation is, whatever the journey is, because life is a journey. Life is about going through the highs and the lows. Life is about experiencing the good and the bad, because you have to have some good and you have to have some bad, because through the journey, it's not really about the destination. It's really about going through those trials and tribulations, going through the highs and lows, because that's when you start to grow. That's when you start to learn more about yourself. That's when you start to have a new appreciation for like different things, so that when you finally get into that new season, or you finally get to where it is you want to go, it's like, dang, like I've been through all of that. I was screaming and crying through all of that, and had I known that this is where I was going to get taken to next, I wouldn't have carried on the way I carried on. I wouldn't have freaked out. I probably wouldn't have cursed that person out, you know? And that is something that we need to remember. So don't let the emotions get the best of you. I know it's hard. I know it's hard for people when we hear someone say, listen, don't get in your head. Do not stress. Do not this. Do not that. Because hell, when people tell me, listen, don't stress, try not to think about it, while they saying that, I'm like, really? You really don't want me to stress? You really not want me to overthink this? Do you see what's happening right now? And you want me? Me. You know how I go. You don't want me to stress about it? Then I just have to take a minute and be like, you know what? Let me go sit my hips somewhere and go pray. Let me try to gather my emotions and see what it is that I have to do. Because one thing that you should not do, and you will not do, and we are not going to do this, is give up. Especially when we're going through this thing called life and a journey of transformation. Because the end of the transformation is very beautiful. Think of a butterfly. Think of how a butterfly, the circle of life, the cycle of life of a butterfly, they start like an egg, go into like a cocoon type of thing. Then they're like, no, I lied. They're a worm. Then they go into cocoon and they become a butterfly. I don't know. Ask a fourth grader. I can't remember the butterfly cycle. But think about that. The end result is a beautiful butterfly. And I, for one, love butterflies because butterflies represent new life, new beginnings, beauty, strength. Things are going to be okay. So If you didn't know that about me, now you know. I love butterfly. Transformation is never easy. And I don't think it will ever be easy. I think there are different levels of how difficult it will be or how easy it may be, how best you're able to manage. Sometimes your transformation is the test to see how much you've learned. But the point is to be determined to get through it. Be determined to protect yourself, protect your mental, protect your mind, because when we're going through transformation, we can become vulnerable with ourselves. We can become vulnerable to the world, but the most important thing is not to become vulnerable to the world. Even if you are in a vulnerable state, mask yourself. It's not that you're putting on a facade or anything like that, but learn to protect yourself when you are going through a journey of transformation, because it's very easy. I find that it's kind of easy to get influenced. But one thing I will say is find that strength, because it's in you. A lot of us try to say, I'm not that strong, I'm not that this, I'm not that. Let me tell y'all something. I've been through some circumstances and I didn't realize how strong I was until, not even during the situation. It was a little after the situation when I realized like how strong I was, how much patience, the patience that I have had and the patience that God has put in me. I thought I had patience, but let me tell y'all, some of the things that I have experienced, some of the things that I have been through, when I tell y'all Azalea has patience, I have some patience, and I have people who would tell me your patience is on a different level. I have people say, babe, you strong, because if it was me, I wasn't going to do that, or I was going to answer them back, or I was going to. People don't understand. I have patience, and I don't know who I get it from. I don't know if I get it from my mom or if I get it from my dad, because their patience is unmatched. But when they reach that level to say, all right, patience out the window and out the window. So I thank God for my parents, because I think I got my patience for them, but God has had to put me through my own journey to show me how strong and how patient I am. But my point is, y'all don't know how strong y'all are until y'all have to go through certain situations. So don't ever think for a second you can't handle something. Don't ever think you can't handle what life is throwing at you. Don't think you can't handle when you have to go through a season where you have to develop and you have to grow. Don't think that you can get through the pain that you're experiencing, because you can and you will get through the pain. Yes, you will have human moments and you will be like, I don't want to do this anymore, it hurts. It's so no, yes, you will. You will have those. You are human. You're human. You're going to go through those things. And life is going to continue to life. So it's either you suck it up and you realize that you are stronger than you think. And as cliche as it sounds, I know you are stronger than you think. You can handle this. It sounds very cliche, but let me tell y'all something. Y'all who don't like to hear you are stronger than you think, that sentence, that phrase hits very different when you really have to go through something and you have no choice but to be strong. Whether you have to be strong for yourself and someone else, or you have to be strong to make sure your mental, you stay sane. Because we have some people out here who be strong and they fighting every day to get through these battles, these curveballs. They already going through it. They trying to understand what's going on. And then someone say the wrong thing and they quick to snap. But don't let, I don't know why that came to me, but don't let people cost you your sanity. Don't let people cost you your mental, because again, everyone's going through it, and I think people need to learn and understand and be sensitive to everyone, because you don't know what people are going through. And a lot of people fight silent battles and try to remain silent because they don't want to be a burden on anyone else. They don't want to be a burden to anybody. But have the mindset of determination and know that you're going to get through it. And again, you are stronger than you think. So whether you didn't want to hear it or not, I'm going to say it one last time. You are stronger than you think, and you will get through this. Last but not least, isolate yourself for a while. Take time to be by yourself. Take time to take a step back. Take a step back from the drawing board. Take a step back from the drawing board. Sometimes you may have to go Does that make sense what I just said? Not take a step back from the drawing board, but yeah, pause for a minute. Sit down. Breathe. Sometimes the world can be distracting, and the world can be very loud. We just keep going and going and going and going and going, and we're not realizing that we're really not taking a step back to make sure what we're doing is what we really want to do. And sometimes when that happens, that's when we realize that we need to take a bit of a pause and we need to reevaluate. Sometimes when we go through this journey of transformation, we need to, and y'all should know what I'm about to say. And if you don't know what I'm about to say, shame on you. But sometimes you really do need to pray. Sometimes you really do need to seek God. Sometimes you need to find a quiet place where you can be alone with God and listen to what He has to say. Whether it means reading your Bible, whether it means just having praise and worship, even if it means just sitting by yourself in complete silence, just to be filled with something, you know. And yes, I am looking at my notes if you do see me looking to the side, because I did have a lot I wanted to say on this topic. I will not lie to you all. But yes, take a step back from your vision and see what it is that you really want out of life. See what it is you really want out of life. Because what we think we may want is not really what we're destined, is what we're supposed to be destined for. That's probably not even your purpose. It may be what you think you want, but it's not exactly what God wants for you. And I've had that happen to me before, where what I thought I wanted was actually not what God has for me. And you know that saying where it says, if it's meant to be, it will. Let God's will be done, not your will be done. Sometimes that's exactly, what it is. So isolate, because you need that isolation to figure out what it is you really want when you're going through this journey, when you're going through this transformation, because it is painful and it's not easy. There are different levels of the difficulties, but it's never easy. But you can get through it. But sometimes you really need to just block everything out, block the world out. You don't have to shut down completely, but there needs to be a certain level of blocking that you need to do to just kind of realign yourself with everything and really figure out what it is that you actually want. Transformation, like I said, is a painful process, but it's also an opportunity for growth and development, because you're going to learn about yourself more. You're going to realize that what you thought you may want, you don't want. What you thought you liked, you don't like anymore. Your beliefs may change. The way you act may change. The way you talk may change. Everything starts to change because you're evolving. You're blooming. You're blooming. That's what's happening. That's what life is about. That's what life's journey is and transformation is about, blooming. Every season won't be the same, and it's not going to be all the same, because for every season requires a different call to action, and for every call to action requires a different side of you to come out, whether it's survival mood, a survival mood, a sensitive type of mood you have to be in, where you have to be sensitive to other people, sensitive to yourself. It may call for a mood of just having to find that strength within yourself. So sometimes it's rather difficult, and it will be difficult. I'm not going to sit here and lie. As y'all can see, I've been saying it this whole video. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy, but God is with you. Christ is in you. I'm trying to remember the Bible verse. I'm sitting here. Oh my God. My strength is in Christ who strengthens me. Through Christ who strengthens me, or something like that. Yeah, that Bible verse where it says Christ is with you, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. There you go. I'm sure I said that earlier, but that's what it's about. You got this, and you will get through this. But something good is about to happen, so stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Prepare yourself. Develop. Grow. It's going to be painful. It's not going to be easy, but you're going to get through it, because because you are strong and you got this. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. God is not the God of confusion, for he knows the plans he has for you. If you got to pray and fast your way out of something, do it. It's going to help bring some peace to the chaos you feel like it is. Do that. But life is a journey of highs and lows. You can't have one without the other. Balance, baby, balance. That's what I tell my friends. Balance, baby, balance. So I'm going to tell you all that. Balance. It's all about balance. You have a story to tell. Your life is your testimony. You may have certain chapters that are more impactful than others, but life is a journey. You're going to go through transformation. You're going to need it for every season. For every season is a different call to action. Every season is going to require a different version of yourself. You got this. So, call to action one last time. What are some ways that you can prepare for the next season of your life? How can you let your emotions, how can you let go of your emotions so you can have the mindset of determination? Last but not least, what are some ways that you can isolate yourself and get away from this world? For me, if y'all want my answer for the last question, I can definitely answer the last question right now. Quick, fast, and hurry. I lock myself in my room. I pull out my Bible. I read the Word of God. I listen to a sermon, or I just simply listen to music, or I sit in silence by myself. And sometimes I jot out my thoughts, and then I go over my thoughts. I don't necessarily journal, but I would jot out my thoughts, and then I go from there, or I simply just go on a drive and play some music. That's what I do. So, thank you for watching this video. I love you guys. Keep blooming. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on your post notifications and follow me on all socials. And you can check out my website at bloomingwithazalea.com so you can read about this post. And I will see you all next time. Bye. I love you. Have a great and amazing day. Be blessed.